A former emergency room doctor charged with child abuse is headed to trial. Prosecutors say that Dr. John Cox deliberately injured his then 1-month-old daughter last May. He says it was an accident and claims Children's Hospital of Wisconsin grossly misdiagnosed the girl's injuries. Children's says in a statement it is confident in the findings of its child abuse pediatricians.
The case has gained national attention, so the system used to report child abuse, is it flawed? That's the question now.
Yes, and the I-team heard from attorneys who feel that it is and a doctor who stands by the process.
Children routinely get things like clavicle fractures from playing or jumping or falling off a couch, let's say.
Keith Finley and Catherine Judson of the Center for Integrity and Forensic Sciences tells us they consult on hundreds of child abuse cases a year, where the defense believes their clients have been wrongfully accused.
That could be abusive or it could be accidental. And where the science fails is where someone testifies in court that it could only be abusive.
Saying this isn't a problem specific to Children's Wisconsin.
It's happening all across the country and all across the world.
They say law enforcement trusts doctors who report abuse without listening to different opinions.
They tend to be the ones who believe most powerfully in their ability to determine abuse on the basis of some medical findings. And it sort of takes on a life of its own, and often they'll disregard other physicians' opinions, dismiss other possibilities.
Fond du Lac County District Attorney Eric Toney says when cases are referred to Children's Wisconsin, they get a report from a child abuse expert physician based on their evaluation.
Those are instrumental and helpful in those types of reviews for potential charging decisions based on the expertise that those medical doctors have and how they can help us evaluate cases.
He says it's not the only determination made in these cases, and that prosecutors also weigh things like statements made during the investigation or testimony from other children.
It's common in cases in which there's expert testimony to have competing experts, and it's not, I don't think most prosecutors rely on just one medical opinion.
Judson says it's critical to hear more than one perspective.
Certainly in a case where there's a suspicion of child abuse and there are other medical providers that are saying there could be another explanation for these findings, those other medical providers need to be taken very seriously.
Children's Wisconsin referred us to child abuse expert John Leventhal out of the Yale New Haven Children's Hospital in Connecticut.
Like cancer doctors, regardless of how they're funded, child abuse doctors don't want to find child abuse. We're much happier and often relieved when we find some other cause for the child's injuries. There is no reason to think that we are incentivized to do this work.
Over the phone, he says the process to report abuse at his hospital is usually a collaborative effort. But the decision comes down to him, a decision he doesn't take lightly.
Most of the injuries that show up in children in which a child is then taken to a pediatric practice, to an urgent care clinic, or to an emergency department are injuries that occur from accidents. And most of the people on the front line know that and have that as their frame of thinking.
Children's Wisconsin did not agree to an interview as part of this report. The attorneys we spoke with say parents should not be afraid to take their kids to the doctor, but if they feel they're being questioned more than usual, it may be a good idea to seek legal advice. In Wauwatosa for the I-Team, Casey Geraldo, TMJ4.
Casey, thank you. The I-Team has talked with a number of local families who feel they are being wrongfully accused. You can read their stories online right now at tmj4.com.